is a friendship that'll never ever end.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the least requested, least demanded, and the least downloaded wrestling podcast, PCW. This could be a long podcast, so strap in and shut up and don't be a little bitch about it.
To the masters. Ruthless aggression. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another episode of PCW Podcast Championship Wrestling. I am your host, Wayne Semi-Dry Chicken, and today we are going back to Saudi Arabia. Yay. For Crown Jewel, and I am not going alone. This is going to be a long, terrible, hot, stuck on the tarmac kind of trip, possibly. But let me bring on my co-host. Here we go. Hey, Dre, you eating anything during this episode?
Not yet. It's on the way. So I will be when it gets here.
All right. And also joining us, as usual. Doyle.
Oh, it's me. It's the Doyle. And I had a fucking stuck on the tarmac joke baked in, and you ruined it for me. Thanks a lot, Wayne.
Did I jump the gun?
You stole my thunder. That's
Sorry.
okay.
Oh, man. Hey, so, Doyle, you had me thinking the other day, when you mentioned it, Doyle 316. That would be an awesome shirt to have.
I used to have back in the 90s. I had one.
Man, resurface it like a retro shirt.
Yeah, no.
What does it mean, though?
I'm sure I could get another one made somehow.
Yeah.
But what does it mean, though? Doyle 316 has to mean something.
Explain. Is there a backstory?
Well, nowadays it means I want to be home by 10 p.m.
Yeah, like, we got our deal with Pro Wrestling Tees. So we have a store, and I'm at the point now where, like, the store's created, we just don't have any designs uploaded yet because they're redoing the site. So hopefully this week I'll be able to upload some new designs. We get 4 of them right off the bat, and I think if we sell 25 items from our store, then we're going to get an unlimited amount of designs. So, you know, each of us are going to get our own personal design, and then we're going to get one for the entire podcast, whether you want it on a t-shirt or a hoodie. I'm getting mine in a hoodie because I'm wearing it to WrestleMania, and I know it's going to be cold. So
get a big one because you're going to want to layer underneath.
Yeah, dude, I was thinking it too. I was like, I will get like a 2XL. Like, I'm an XL hoodie kind of guy, but I'll get a 2XL so it could be roomy. Because, you know, that was always like one of my problems when I was younger. It's like you get this really cool wrestling shirt, right? But it's cold out, so you're wearing like a hoodie or a jacket, and you know, the second you get there, it's like, nah, I gotta show my wrestling shirt. I gotta take off my jacket immediately. That or just sweat it out and wear it over top. But I mean, I always every event I have to wear a wrestling shirt. Like, every event I go to, I can't just go in a plain shirt. This is weird for me, you know, or a non-wrestling shirt. So this will be great for people who want to wear a PCW shirt, wear it to an event, and it's going to be cool because it's going to have the QR code right on your back. I'm always tired of people like, oh, well, where do we go to listen to your podcast? And I give them the whole list, and I'd rather just be like, hey, just scan this barcode and leave me alone. Scan this QR code. Carlos had the idea of doing stickers. I thought that would be cool. Slapping stickers everywhere, QR code stickers. QR codes. That's the way we do it now. That's how the kids do it today, Dre.
Yeah, I suppose so. Everything's a sort of a QR code because everybody has their phone on them. You click it, you scan it, done deal, right there.
Yeah, and I tested this theory, and I asked my grandmother if she knew what this was, and I pointed to the QR code. And she goes, "Oh yeah, that's a QR code." I'm like, "Do you know how to use one of these things?" And I showed her, and she got it immediately. And I was like, "All right, now like and subscribe, Grandma." So now she can do it, and she's well in her 80s. If Grandma can do it, there's no excuse why listener Dave, I'm talking to you, Dave, can't get on the website, join the Discord. Other people who listen, who always like, I want to talk in your Discord, but I don't feel like downloading it. Well, it's not my fault. That's just where we are. That's where we do majority of our wrestling talking throughout the week. If not, you just wait for the podcast. The episodes drop and hear what we have to say. But sometimes
poor Dave catching strays.
Yeah. Well, you know why? Dave was over not too long ago, and I'm like, Dave, I haven't seen you on the Discord. I'm like, you probably should say something because we all think you're dead. So he did pop up a couple days ago. So he is alive. I'm just confirming. He's a busy man with a new job, but he is alive. I'm trying to get him to come over maybe for Survivor Series. I'll have some people over. This Saudi pay-per-view, guys, right in the middle of the afternoon. These rare...
On a Saturday that I work.
Yeah, I work too, but, I'll be done in time. I think I'm done at 10:30 in the morning. And this, starts at 1 in the afternoon? So, yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could say that. I'll be working from 8 to 5 on Saturday, so...
Oh, man.
And after that, I plan on going to the gym, so it'll just be... I'll be watching it like a filthy normie at Saturday night.
Nah, it's just... There's nothing wrong with that, savoring it later at night and watching it the old-fashioned way. But the most difficult part is staying off of social media. Because... if you're like me and you follow multiple wrestling outlets and WWE and a bunch of WWE superstars or AEW superstars, it doesn't matter. If you go on social media, it's all out there on the table. So it's tough. I've done it. What you've done, Dre.
Well, we're about to tell them who's going to win every match, so...
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, did they? They did a couple pre-taping, didn't they?
Pre-taped SmackDown, yeah.
Yeah, I think they did that. What, last week? Did they record both episodes?
Yeah, they did two episodes.
Yeah.
They usually will do their in-ring stuff, and then they'll supplement it with video packages, and that's usually how those pre-taped shows go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, didn't our listener Wayne, who's been on the show before, didn't he say he went to the SmackDown that was being taped? If I caught that on that Discord.
I'm not sure that he was talking about this one. I think he was just saying that he had been to one of those scenarios where they.
Oh, yes.
I think.
I believe so. I believe so because that makes sense. What he said with Sami Zayn winning the title makes sense. Because I thought, that's kind of cool, though. You see it, you can get to go home, and then you get to experience it, on TV. I've never, I don't know, it's rare that I've ever gone back and watched a SmackDown or something I've been on, Sometimes a pay-per-view, but never like a Raw or SmackDown. Oh, yeah.
I do that with wrestling. I don't do it with sports, though. I always DVR it, and then I go, I'm going to go look and see if I see myself, and then I never do.
Oh, yeah.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I did do it for the Raw that I attended, and there's like a brief blur. If you pause at one moment, you don't see me, but I know what I wore that night, so I was like, that red blur right there, that's my shirt. That was me.
Add that to your profile page or IMBD. Like, listen, I was on an episode of Raw or SmackDown.
Right. I was the red blur at 1 hour and 47 minutes.
Yes. I
You gotta talk to Jesse Ventura's lawyer, get you some royalties.
Yeah, didn't Lana, former wrestler Lana, wife of Rusev, I think she said she heard from Vince McMahon that it's like $100,000. What is it? A minute or a second that they're recording on TV, that they're live on the air. It was like a ridiculous amount of money, like per minute.
How much it costs or something?
Yeah, I think it was like $100,000 a minute. Yeah, to be live on air. It was ridiculous. She said she heard it from Vince. I saw that post recently. I don't know if there's any likes to it, but it's coming.
I mean, that it all told the labor and the cost to run the building, and I could see that pretty easily.
Yeah. Also, Lana said that she wants to be a better manager than Paul Heyman. That's what she wants to go down in history as.
Oh, there's only
Good luck with that.
Yeah,
there's only one.
That's a tough cookie. That's a tough cookie, especially when he's been managing multiple people. I mean, if you just stack his career with Brock Lesnar against her career as a manager for Rusev, in just that time period, he's still better.
I mean, she got a whole lot of steps up the proverbial staircase to climb before she reaches Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Is she even a better manager than Sensational Sherry?
No.
Right.
Oh, dear Lord, no.
Right. Sensational Sherry managed Macho Man Randy Savage and Harlem Heat. Like,
and Michael.
And Shawn Michaels, like, Lana, there's levels to this. Yeah. Humble yourself.
I know. The ridiculous thing people post online.
Sherry involved when she was on camera for one of the greatest verbal botches of all time.
Right. Yeah. and didn't flinch. Didn't break character. Had his back, patted him on the shoulder like, it's going to be all right. Like, Lana, know your place. You was not on that level.
So, I have somebody, Andrea wrote in to the show a question for us. It's kind of like a two-parter question. I'm going to play her little bumper here.
Would you like to answer a question right at this particular time? Would you like to do that?
Let me talk to you!
There you go. There's your bumper, Andrea. I know you wanted some type of a bumper, and we'll give you that one. She asked, will JD McDonough ever be allowed in Judgment Day? Or will this be another Sami Zayn bloodline situation? Also, if Judgment Day if JD McDonough is allowed to be in Judgment Day, then who do you see being kicked out or leaving, if any at all? I find it very weird that he's hung around this long with this stable and not been a member. But if he does join, I don't see anybody. I don't know. If anybody leaves, maybe it's due to injury. Like, maybe we see somebody like Damian Priest written off of TV for a couple weeks after maybe this pay-per-view. And JD kind of takes that place in the group, because him and Priest are always the ones that are kind of bumping heads. But without Priest in the way and not there for a couple weeks, I could see them allowing him in Judgment Day while he's out. Other than that, I don't see them, like, him being worthy to replace anybody. I just see him another member wearing purple and black. He's not worthy enough to boot somebody out to replace. Dre, what do you think? Are you there, Dre? Yeah.
Yeah. Food arrived.
Food arrived. Oh, do you want Doyle to go while you have your food? Do you want to pop?
No. I'm here. She was asking about JD. Nope. I'm here. I'm back now. She was asking about JD McDonough. Would he ever get into the Judgment Day?
Yeah.
I believe I said something to this effect in the Discord that he should, at this point, like, they need to shit or get off the pot in terms of that. Because I believe this past Monday on Raw, it opened up with the Judgment Day. And then when they came out, it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was JD McDonough, Rhea Ripley, and Dom. So the announcer, which sadly was not Samantha Irwin this past Monday, it was the woman who does the announcement for NXT. She was subbing in. So she introduced JD McDonough himself first. And then after that, she said, and representing the Judgment Day, Dom and Rhea. But then when we get to the backstage segment, Damian Priest, the guy who's so far been the most opposed to JD McDonough joining Judgment Day, he gives JD a fist bump after saying, tonight, let's make tonight all about the Judgment Day. And he fist bumps JD McDonough without hesitation. Like, it was cool. And then he comes out, helps them in the end, and all that stuff happens. So it's like they're still trying to be indecisive about it. Like, it's not official, or is it official, or did they just quietly bring him in without making it a big deal? So they're in this weird place where they need to either shit or get off the pot. Like,
dude, that's
do
perfect.
It or not do it, or kick him out. Like, don't make the mistake of thinking that this JD Judgment Day thing is like what Sammy and the Bloodline were, because it's not. It's not that. It doesn't have that level of interest. JD is not as compelling as Sammy. Even though he's a great wrestler, he had a great match with Seth Rollins this past Monday. But this isn't as captivating or interesting enough to where y'all need to be dragging this out as far as is he in or not. Like, just put him in the fucking group. That's it. Just let him be in. He's another member and move forward.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to care that much one way or the other as far as whether he's in or not. And for my money, yeah, just put him in a damn group.
Doyle, tell me why you completely disagree with everything Dre just said.
It's not that I disagree. It's not that I care. Like, who gives a shit? Like, it's so not. It's not. I think Dre said it's not compelling. Who cares?
Right.
So I don't think he's part of the Judgment Day. But if he is or he isn't, I don't give a shit. Candidate to leave Judgment Day, I would definitely say Damian Priest, but we'll talk about him later, and it has nothing to do with JD McDonough. But I could see a world maybe in where Finn leaves. It's put to him like, okay, it's JD or it's us, and he chooses JD for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe he likes potato-headed leprechauns or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I guess he's a fine enough wrestler, but I just don't give a shit about the kid at all. I really don't. And I love the Irish guys. I always love the Irish guys. But he's just so fucking laconic and wooden and not very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. He like if he wasn't here next week, I don't think I'd notice him missing.
Yeah, would you even notice?
Yeah, you wouldn't. I don't think so.
Absolutely not, because he hasn't had any substantial role in the Judgment Day itself. He's just been the guy on the side, or he's been the punching bag, or the assistant. Like, he's been like, if a whole group could have a sidekick, he would be that. Mm-hmm. Like, he's that little monkey from the Super Friends cartoon.
Oh, shit, I agree. Oh, God. Crown Jewel. We're back here again. the Saudi WrestleMania, I guess.
Yeah.
This will be the 5th one. First started in 2018. They re-signed a new deal in 2020 for 10 years. So we have a 10-year partnership. We are here till 2030, guys. I'm looking at this card. I guess you could say John Cena would be the older, because they always get like an older guy, part-timer to come in. I guess that's John Cena this time, huh? Normally
this is the first Saudi show without Brock.
Yeah, without Brock, without The Undertaker, without Goldberg. Interesting. The card's pretty stacked. 8 matches. It's pretty stacked. I don't think it's pretty bloated. So as it is, I don't think they and there's a few matches they could have added, but the Intercontinental title match maybe even, but it's not on here. They don't need to. A lot of singles matches.
Yeah, I was going to say, when was the last time we had so many one-on-one match? I mean, God forbid we defend one of the tag belts. But it's just like, it's so many one-on-one. I mean, we got that one women's clusterfuck, which, of course, we'll talk about.
Yeah.
And I can't remember a pay-per-view that had just nothing but singles matches.
It's like...
Yeah.
It's like they specifically... No, it's not bad. They specifically requested these matches. That's what it looks like. Like, it's like you're picking out matches out of a hat, but you totally forget, like, you only had 8 matches to pick from. I mean, it's tough to build a card like that and be like, shit, like, I totally forgot to put the tag titles in there. The Intercontinental title, I forgot about. Like, it's just, we just have bloated roster. It's just what it is. You can only fit so many people on the card. And in one night, too. Not, like WrestleMania gets 2 nights. But these
and keeping in mind that you have to build for the future too. You can't show them everything all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Even though this is a big pay-per-view, this isn't. I still don't think this is one of the main 4.
Oh no!
The
no, absolutely not.
It's,
definitely not.
No, not even close.
No, and because
especially being positioned so close to Survivor Series, there's no way it would be that. WWE's definitely, for now, more invested in trying to build up Survivor Series back into being on similar ground with the Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam than trying to build up Crown Jewel to be on that level. Because people nobody looks at it that way. Everybody just pretty much looks at it as it's the Saudi show where they just do whatever the Saudis want and just throw a bunch of shit at the wall. And maybe we might get some storyline progression in the midst of it.
Yeah. Last year, the main event was Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul for the undisputed WWE Championship. And now Logan Paul is back, but for the United States Championship. Fuck it. We'll just roll right into it. We'll roll right into that match. Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul. You know what? Like, I think it'd be a good idea. I mean, if they're gonna, whether you like it or not, like, he's a heel. Like, whether he likes it or not, he's a heel. I think at first when he came to WWE, he tried to be a face, and people just naturally just do not like Logan Paul. Not as much as people are led to believe. The WWE Universe, let that be heard. So he's got some good heat there. So, him snatching away a title from Rey Mysterio would be pretty cool. Logan Paul would take that with him on the road, and you would see the United States title pop up in social media all over the place. I could totally see why WWE would like to showcase the U.S. title, and that could lead to a bigger match for Survivor Series. I don't. I have a couple ideas, but for Logan Paul later. But anyway, Trey, what are you thinking? Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul. I think this would be great for Logan Paul. I don't see Rey Mysterio retaining.
As much as I'm one of those people who does not like Logan Paul. I don't care for the guy.
Yep.
I acknowledge his talent and his natural aptitude towards professional wrestling because he is a talented wrestler. I haven't seen a guy come out of nowhere and take to this sport as quickly as he has since arguably Kurt Angle.
Yep.
Like he's that much of a natural at this. So I give him that. And I kind of agree with you. I could see them putting the title on him, even though as a wrestling fan, I don't like that because he's not full-time. He's still part-time. Like, if I had seen him be on TV wrestling matches on Raw or SmackDown for like a few weeks or at least a month leading into this, to where I believed he was going to be on television or, giving us at least a few months run, kind of like what Cena's doing now during the Screen Actors Guild strike or something like that, then I would probably be more receptive to Logan Paul winning a title, because at least I know we're going to get at least some kind of run out of it and some kind of work from him out of it, other than just a single match pop-up here and there. So in that regard, I don't necessarily want him to win the title, but I kind of agree with you in the sense that I think he probably will win the title for all the reasons that you mentioned, just for that crossover media thing. He can be out there making media appearances as the WWE United States champion, rocking the belt all over the place, putting it in people's eyes. Although I would argue that doesn't do shit for the belt itself, again, from a wrestling standpoint, because you just having a belt and just showing up places with it, what's that really doing? It's not really doing shit for the title itself. Titles are built on stories. They're built on matches. They're built on the feuds.
You're right.
They're built on moments. That's what builds a title. The reason why the Intercontinental title is as prestigious as it is now is because Gunther's been out here having freaking 4.5, 5-star matches week after week, defending the shit out of that title. That's why. The reason why the U.S. title's been freaking nut hair above the old European title recently is because nothing's been done with it of any substance. And any potential that it has had to be something of significance, to be involved in a storyline that matters or something like that, gets wasted because they want to throw it on the old Masked Man. And I'm not going to rant on that again.
Right.
But yeah, I could see it happening. I would be okay with Logan Paul winning the title if he drops it at Survivor Series.
Yeah, because whoever...
Or if he either drops it at Survivor Series or if he's a regular on WWE television for like the rest of the year.
Right.
At least from now through the Rumble. Then I'd be okay with it. But if he's just going to pop up, have the title, win the title, and then we don't see him again on SmackDown for like, weeks on end, then that's a waste.
Yeah, like I could see Logan Paul with a short run, from here to Survivor Series and be a transitional heel champion, because whoever takes it off Rey is going to get massive heat. And what better person to get that massive heat than Logan Paul, and then lose it to somebody who's they're turning into a massive face. But Doyle, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said on these here airwaves that if Logan Paul stuck around doing this wrestling thing, they'd put a championship on him. Well, I think we're there. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Ray's title reign has been pretty lackluster. And I think you both said the U.S. Championship in general has just been pretty lackluster, really, since Lashley had it. But I think the prospect of Logan Paul, doing his podcast and walking on red carpets and going to influencer conventions or whatever the fuck it is influencers do, that mainstream attention. I always talk about how that's like a drug to them, and I think that's just way too tempting. And I really like Logan Paul's wrestling character. I don't know anything about him outside of wrestling, but I love his wrestling character, and he's really good at this. Putting the title on David Arquette is a publicity stunt, whereas this is not, because Logan Paul can do this, granted he has the benefit of taking one match at a time and having his hand held by Shawn Michaels, but it's not just sticking it on a celebrity for the hell of it. This guy can actually professionally wrestle. And kind of like Dre said, my only real trepidation with this move would be, we already have one absentee champion on SmackDown in Roman Reigns. I assume that if they put the title on Logan Paul, they've worked something out with him where he's going to be around, every week for 8 weeks or 6 out of 8 weeks or something. And I feel pretty confident that they'll do that if that's the route they decide to go. But yeah, I think this is maybe a quick little title reign. Maybe 8 weeks, like I said, and then I could see maybe Santos goes after Logan Paul to avenge Ray, or maybe he costs Ray the title, turning heel. But I wouldn't be shocked if it's LA Knight that ends up beating Logan Paul. That makes all the sense in the world. But that'll be another podcast for another day. But until then, I think Logan Paul is coming home as U.S. champion.
Yeah, that last thought you brought up, I kind of had the same thought that they use, like both of you kind of alluded to, they use Logan Paul as a transitional heel champion, and that's how we get LA Knight's first title reign. Yes. Survivor Series, LA Knight versus Logan Paul. One that kind of makes sense. They're both high profile. They're both gold on the mic. It'd probably be the most interesting person you could put in front of LA Knight for a substantial feud after he's concluded his business with Roman now. Again, assuming that they're not involved in a War Games match, but again, that's down the line. We'll get to that. But if he's involved in a singles program going into Survivor Series, yeah, LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the U.S. title kind of makes a whole lot of sense, and it would be a damn good match. And
damn good.
Logan Paul could really lean into the heel aspect because LA Knight's going to be over as fuck. That match would absolutely be on fire because of they exist about as far on the opposite end of the spectrum as possible. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And then that moment when he finally wins and he becomes U.S. champion, that pop would be massive.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but I was like, okay, well, I don't want to talk about it, so we discuss LA Knight later. But when you think of the next person who would have to face Logan Paul for a United States title, you immediately think LA Knight. There's nobody else on there that would fit that next stepping stone, and to win at Survivor Series.
If you're going to get anything out of losing to Roman, which I'm going to assume we're all going to predict is what's going to happen,
don't put words in my mouth.
You do it by saying, I was right, I was within a split second of beating Roman Reigns. If I can do that to him, I can certainly beat you,
Yeah, because, you didn't beat him last year either.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, exactly. And that feud is almost too easy not to do.
Fuck, we're writing it. We're doing it, guys. All right. Probably the show opener, which I'm guessing would be Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough.
I believe that's a pre-show. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
That's going to be that's where I. Oh, okay, I see it. 1P pre-show. Yeah, That one. Can we all agree? Sami Zayn.
Yeah, that's a Raw match.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Spoiler.
Danny McDonough. It'll be a good match.
Several times.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll be a good match. It'll be something to liven up the crowd. But that's light work for Sami Zayn. That's light work. He should easily win that match.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so opening match, we'll say singles match for the World Heavyweight title. Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Now, this pay-per-view on paper, it looks very fucking good. Like, chances-wise, the story-wise, for guys like LA Knight, for guys like Drew McIntyre. This was another one that's very, I don't know, it's believable that, Drew never had the chance to win the heavyweight title in front of a crowd, a big audience, because, if you don't know, he won it during COVID times, during the Thunderdome era. That was a terrible time in our lives. I try not to think about it.
It was actually before the Thunderdome era. There was like nothing
right
there.
around.
There was
Yeah,
empty seats.
yes, it was absolutely nothing. Yeah, dude, you're right. That was the awkward WrestleMania, the quietest WrestleMania.
Like everything had shut down like a week and a half before that.
Yeah, it was rough.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we never have to do it again. Hopefully not. But yeah, I totally get Drew's story. Like, I totally get his feeling for, like, oh man, like, not winning it in front of a big crowd. This isn't WrestleMania, but this is the Wish.com of WrestleMania, the WrestleMania-esque. So, I'm pretty sure we're going to get Seth Rollins walking out again as champion. But if there was going to be a title change, I really am leaning towards this one with Drew McIntyre. It's just, the story's there, and it would, I keep harping to it because Seth is such a workhorse, like, giving him some much needed time off. Becky just lost her NXT Women's title. Like, just stepping down as World Heavyweight Championship, this is perfect timing for him to step down. They both can take some time off, both losing some titles back to back. Drew gets his win in front of a big crowd, and his contract's up in 5 months. 5 months, and he still hasn't re-signed. So maybe this small title run will give him, keep him hungry, make him want to stay, help them persuade him to stay. We could be, I could be completely wrong, and it just goes right to Seth, and Seth just keeps on being the workhorse all the way to Survivor Series, and drops it to somebody else, and then Drew just loses and becomes very unhappy, and when his contract's up, he goes. Like, it could totally go that way. Drew, what do you think?
Yeah, I just don't see Drew winning this match. Nothing about him, and not a knock on him as a wrestler, but nothing about him or this storyline that's happening right now with him, nothing about it says new World Heavyweight Champion to me. Nothing. The only way I could even see it remotely happening is if he did it and joined the Judgment Day. That's the only thing that seems to make sense to me, because it seems like,
damn, that would be crazy.
As major as the Judgment Day is right now, as them being the top heel faction, it just seems like that World Heavyweight Championship is destined to end up in that faction at some point.
Right? It's like,
just a matter of
it's like an Infinity Stone, and it's like, they're going to get it whether you like it or not.
It just seems like that's the direction that they're heading. Is just a matter of how are they going to pull it off, and who are they going to put it on? I mean, some of us thought they were going to put it on Finn when he was one of the first people to feud with Seth that turned out not to be the case. I thought they should have done it at Fastlane in the last pay-per-view with Damian Priest. And he still seems, to me, he's still, if I was a betting man, the odds-on favorite person to be the next World Heavyweight Champion, in my opinion. But, yeah, I just don't see Drew just winning it and just becoming World Heavyweight Champion, because then what? Like, where we're at in his storyline and his character story isn't becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. They're still kind of straddling the fence on whether he's a full-on heel or a babyface. Like, they're just now finally starting to tilt towards him being a heel. And I don't see him beating Seth Rollins and becoming World Heavyweight Champion as the thing that puts him all the way in the heel side, unless he joins the Judgment Day as champion. And then you run some storyline where there's this interesting dynamic of the new guy in the Judgment Day is the World Heavyweight Champion, and his biggest threat lies within that very faction, Mr. Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. Which that could make for some interesting storytelling. Yeah. There's definitely some interesting storytelling intention to be had there, but I just don't see it. Yeah, I just don't see it. I think Seth Rollins walks out as champion again, and the storyline for Drew is that he loses, and that just pushes him further towards the dark side or further into being a heel.
Yeah, I totally forgot the Judgment Day stickler with him talking to Rhea backstage a lot, his odd relationship with her, and she's had some odd relationships with some people outside of Judgment Day. Jey Uso as well. She's gotta keep your eye on that one. But yeah, Judgment Day. I can't believe I totally forgot that. That's a wild card, like him joining, and this would be odd, being most of factions are built around the World Heavyweight Champion. This is weird, where the faction has already been built from the ground up, from the I believe their first title in their faction was the North American title, and then the women's and tag team and so on.
No, that was Rhea first. Rhea was the first one to win. Okay. Yeah, so she won the title at WrestleMania, and Dom didn't win the North American title until like sometime over the summer.
That's right, and then it was like a domino effect. So that would be cool. Like if the World Heavyweight title is the last one, like the Infinity Stones, like this is to finish the gauntlet of titles, that they can get. And then, dude, yeah, you're so right. That wild card of that, Damian Priest having that there, and unless he's written off for a while with an injury after said match tonight. But Doyle, let's get you in here. What do you think? What are you thinking?
I believe on numerous occasions I have picked against Seth Rollins and have been wrong on numerous occasions. So I'm going to bury the lead and I'm going to pick Seth Rollins, which will maybe ensure that someone other than Seth Rollins leaves with the World Heavyweight Championship.
You jinxed it.
Yeah, right. Well, you guys said talking about Judgment Day and Drew. She's been trying to recruit Seth also. Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of SummerSlam '92. If you want to think back that far, when the Ultimate Warrior was facing Macho Man for his WWF Championship, as you may recall. They had Flair and Perfect on the outside playing mind games. They had the Warrior thinking they were going to help Savage, and Savage thought they were going to help the Warrior. And it kind of reminds me of that with Rhea Ripley. She's kind of trying to recruit both of them. I guess Drew seems a little more receptive to it. But, I mean, how many times has somebody said, no, I'm not going to do that, and then they totally do it. But what is her end game? That's the question. Now, if we look back at history, it isn't much help. It turned out Flair and Perfect weren't aligned with either Warrior or Savage, and their involvement pretty much just fucked up the ending of an otherwise not so bad match. So what's Rhea up to? I don't know if we're even going to get that answer on Saturday. We might not. It wouldn't be surprising if we don't. It probably has something to do with Priest cashing in, but maybe it doesn't. I've kind of been a Priest, as I said before, kind of been a Priest is getting thrown out of the Judgment Day truther for a little while now. And I'm also not sure he's going to successfully cash in. I like Priest fine, but I just don't love him, and I don't see him as a world champion. I really don't. I think like Elimination Chamber participant, maybe Rumble Final Four, certainly Money in the Bank winner. I think that's kind of his ceiling. In other words, I think he could challenge for a world title, but I don't know if he's ever gonna make it there. But we'll put a pin in Priest for a second. I really want to see Drew turn heel. We've talked about that. I feel like the last 5 episodes we've done. And there's certainly been hints of that. I could kind of see him doing like Bret Hart did in '97, where he was a heel in the U.S. but a babyface internationally. And we've got a bunch of international shows coming up. We do 2 Saudi shows every year. We got Australia coming, Germany. France is rumored. So I could see a scenario where Drew does a heel in the States, babyface abroad kind of deal. But the monkey wrench here, is Drew's dirt, contract situation, if you believe what the dirt sheets say. So, do you think they're going to more likely to give him the title to try to make him happy, or less likely because they don't want to put the title on someone that's not signed up long term? That's the question. But I think all that's a moot point because I think Seth is going to win somehow, some way. And really, besides Gunther and maybe Io, he's kind of the only person whose title run is worth a goddamn right now. Everybody else, none of the other title reigns are very good. And I wasn't expecting much out of this title reign from Seth, and he's really proved me wrong, I think.
I would say it's been a bit of a slow burn with it, even though, again, I still think it should have ended at Fastlane. But it is one of those things that he's building it through the work as opposed to the feuds themselves. The feuds have been kind of so-so. The him with Shinsuke Nakamura kind of started off really hot and interesting.
Yeah,
but kind of fizzled out towards the end. Damian Priest, I kind of disagree with you. I think I can see him as world champion material. I just think WWE has kind of dropped the ball with him a little bit in terms of they haven't really capitalized on some of that momentum that he had earlier this year coming out of Backlash, where he had the great match with Bad Bunny. And then from there, he moved on to winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. He had a lot of momentum going, and he was being built up. And at that point, he was seen as a legitimate contender.
He had more juice when he was the U.S. champion a couple of years ago, I thought. I feel like the Money in the Bank briefcase notwithstanding, I think he had much more momentum back then. Then you probably could have sold me on it. This version of Damian Priest, I just don't see it.
That may be true, but I wasn't watching at that time, so I can't speak to it. But that may be true. But I've seen the ascension of him rising up and separating himself out from the rest of the roster. Is what I saw from, again, the match he had with Bad Bunny and then winning the Money in the Bank. He was starting to stand out from the rest. And to me, when you can stand out from the crowd and you're not just seen as just another guy on the roster, to me, that's when you start to have champion material written on you. And after that point, he's just kind of just plateaued. And I think that's where they've messed up at. He just kind of has been Mr. Money in the Bank, but hasn't done anything much with it other than just be a member of the Judgment Day, win the tag team titles with Finn Balor, which doesn't do anything for you as a singles competitor. And the Money in the Bank briefcase has just kind of become an accessory and not really.
Yeah, and he's not even in control of it because it's Rhea that tells him what to do and when to do it and when not to do it.
Right. And I mean, which doesn't do him any favors. Even if,
just
like I said,
like a punk.
There was a way that they could have still spun that into a good story, as I laid out in our last episode. I think had they gone a different direction with the booking and the storytelling, there's a way that this could have been done, but I don't know if it's just their creative juices are kind of lacking right now, or if they're focused on other things, but yeah, they're kind of dropping the ball with Damian Priest, in my opinion. Like
I feel like
he's losing his momentum that he had built up.
Treading water with a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's
like they're like holding it for like a bigger pay-per-view. Just like keep holding these storylines back until we get to and it sucks.
They throw these things out. Yeah, they throw these things out there. They tease something, but then they never develop on it any further. Like when we had like the whole Rhea Ripley and Paul Heyman sit down, where they had that talk. Ain't shit came from that sense. When she was talking to Paul Heyman, talking about you will acknowledge me and all this stuff, I was like, this shit about to get real spicy over here. I'm like, all these folk out here talking real reckless and acting all crazy while Roman Reigns is away. I'm like, he about to come back and get the check and everybody reestablish himself. Like there was something there, and nothing's happened. I don't know if it's because Crown Jewel is almost like in the way, so they had the book for Crown Jewel, and some of these other threads are just kind of falling by the wayside, and maybe they'll get picked up after Crown Jewel. We'll see. But
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens.
I certainly hope so, but man, in the meantime, like I don't know, there's some of these things are just feeling real fragmented and not feeling like they're following a natural linear progression that people can follow. It's just kind of more hopscotch.
No, yeah,
good
you're
talk.
Absolutely right, dude. No, you're venting. It sounded like you were venting. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, I mean, Drew definitely needs a fresh coat of paint one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I feel like we've been talking about that for a while, but
yeah, he needs that heel turn.
Yeah.
Like you said, he needs it.
Yeah, and I really hope he does resign. I wouldn't I don't want to see him go to another company. I mean, he would thrive in AEW, but like,
would he though? I feel like he'd get lost in the shuffle because so
many people. They are very
it's just
AEW.
Yeah.
Now, like, if we're talking like AEW, like 3 years ago, absolutely, because that's But now they're so bloated. It seems like.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I could see him coming in, and if anybody could come in and like immediately become a champion, I could see it being Drew McIntyre. Is Drew McIntyre even his real name?
No.
Oh well, never mind. Then he might be fucked. So like, if he can't walk into AEW as Drew McIntyre, if he has to walk in as wherever the hell he really is,
Andrew Galloway.
Oh no! Never mind. Andrew Galloway is not AEW champion.
Well, he was Drew Galloway on the Indies.
That don't hit the same though. I'll say if his real name was Drew McIntyre and he was Drew McIntyre walking into AEW, I could see him walking in and them pulling like a surprise day one walk in immediate world champion. Like MJF has to defend his title against a mystery opponent. Boom, Drew McIntyre comes in, beats him, immediately becomes champion. Like I could see them doing that for somebody of his caliber of superstar. But that's Drew McIntyre.
I agree. Drew
Galloway.
Drew Galloway would, I think, be it.
That's what it would be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Drew Galloway ain't hitting like that.
I mean, just like if Seth left, he would be what the hell was his name? Indie name? Shit. Something black. Fuck, I can't remember what his name was. But whatever.
Tyler Black. Tyler Black.
Guarantee it'd be Tyler Black.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Seth would struggle because even though I could see fans still trying to do that chant with him at other arenas and stuff like that, even if he wasn't in WWE, and I could see AEW trying to come up with some sort of theme for him that's similar enough, but not so similar that they get sued, just so they can try to hold on to that chant. It's like, hey, don't blame us. It's the crowd. We can't control what the crowd does. Maybe. And Tyler Black's enough of a name that I could see work, but Andrew Galloway? No.
Was Adam Copeland?
Well, that's his real name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still the rated R. And he managed to get rated R superstar.
Dude, he got the music, too. The music was the key thing.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Yeah.
So, that works for him. But
anyway, let's roll right into the women's world championship match. Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler versus Zoe Stark versus Raquel Rodriguez. Fatal 5-way. That's weird. I like fatal 4-ways, but because then Rhea could easily just. It seems like she's been manipulating them to attack each other on each episode of Raw that we've gotten with them. I don't know. This is a pretty stacked card for her. I'm interested in this match, but I think Rhea's going to come out on top. She's going to be able to. I don't even know who would take the pin. She's put away almost every one of these girls at some point, right, in their career. I don't know who's going to eat the pin for this, but I think she's going to still come out on top. And I think these girls are just going to continue to feud with each other. They're all heels. Well, Raquel isn't. But
and Zoe's kind of in between. She's kind of straddling the fence right now.
Zoe doesn't know what the hell she wants to be anymore. She's a heel. Straight up, she's just a heel. But we've seen Rhea.
Is she though? Because she got the face pop when she turned. I don't know. She kind of got the face pop when she turned on Trish, and then that seemingly teasing of a team up with her and Shayna Baszler seemed to get some pretty more positive reactions than boos.
I don't know, man.
After they had their match and they shook hands, and then the following week in Norfolk, when Zoe came to help Shayna, she kind of got a more of a pop than a boo. So
I don't know, Dre. We're at the arena, right? We're watching wrestling, and Zoe Stark music hits, and she comes running out. Are you booing? Just off of pure instinct. Are you booing her or are you cheering?
I'm cheering her because I'm a fan of Zoe Stark. But I'm not saying she's full on babyface. I'm saying she's kind of in between. She's straddling that fence. I think right now they're undecided on whether they want to fully make her a heel or if they want to try to turn her heel. So they're kind of playing her in the middle ground and seeing where the crowd goes with her. That's where I think they're at with her as far as her character. Because if she's in that match and she get the whooping on Nia Jax, what do you think the crowd's going to do? They're going to cheer Zoe Stark. Now, if she get that going out there and stomping out Raquel Rodriguez, then she might get booed a little bit. Or if she try to throw hands with Rhea, depending on maybe what Rhea did 30 seconds before, she could get cheered or booed. So I think it kind of depends on who they pit Zoe up against. She's not somebody that the crowd's going to necessarily react depending on what's done to her, but they'll react to her depending on what she's doing to somebody else and who that is that she's doing it to.
You know what? I totally forgot about. It's weird that I would forget about this, but being where they are, the outfits that they're going to have to wear, they're going to have to
fully
clothed, the 3XL or larger than the average shirt. You know, it's like wearing a big onesie. But
yeah, that's pretty much.
Well, that's what Nia Jax wears anyway, so she'll be fine.
Yeah, but no see-through lace parts of it.
Yep. So
I would say that's a net positive.
Yeah, you know, I don't even know like what other. I don't know. This is normally something that Natalia's always on a card like this. But it's weird.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Not this year, but yeah. Doyle, who do you think? Well, Dre, who do you think's going to come out on top? I mean, did you say you give your thoughts on Zoe Stark, but do you think it's going to be Rhea?
I mean, it should be obvious to anybody with half a brain that Shayna Baszler's walking out as champion.
Really?
No, I'm joking. Fuck no.
No. Tell me. No. Don't go back on your fucking word. You tell me why Shayna Baszler would be perfect.
First of all, she would not be perfect as champion. She's not winning. Obviously, Rhea Ripley's walking out. This match is basically, how can we put our top singles competitors on Raw, excluding Becky Lynch?
Yeah.
How can we put them all in a substantial match and not make anybody look weak?
Mm-hmm.
Put them all in one match. That way, nobody looks weak coming out of it. Rhea Ripley finally defends the fucking title and wins without making somebody look weak by beating the shit out of them. That's pretty much all this is. It's a showcase. It's kind of, it is what it is. Yeah, I think they probably, especially since they've been spending more time focusing on Rhea Ripley being the leader, not leader of Judgment Day, than putting her in an actual feud with somebody. So they're just going to do this, and they'll probably use this as a way to build her up again as being the most dominant woman on Raw. She beat 5 people in a match, yada yada, whatever. This is just that. Like, there's not really much intrigue or mystery to this match. She's gonna win. I mean, the only thing that's interesting is if you're putting money on who's gonna take the pin, like we discussed, you mentioned earlier. Who's gonna be the one that Rhea pins to win? That's where the betting money's at. That's where all the sports books are at. Like, ain't no odds on who's gonna win. It's who she's gonna pin. If I had to put a bet on it, I'm gonna say it's probably. I kind of want to say it's probably Zoe Stark who ends up taking.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the rookie.
Probably Zoe, but honestly, no. I'm actually gonna put money on Raquel Rodriguez. If I had to put money on it, I'll put it on Raquel Rodriguez taking
the one face. Yeah, and you know what though? Like, these wrestlers, if you're looking at the card for this match, it's like there's gonna be a lot of just spots because a lot of these girls can't put on a full match, a good one anyway, and that's what Rhea's there for. So this just seems like a spot match. We're gonna see so and so pick up. You know, I want to predict right now. Everybody in that match picks up Nia Jax at least once.
All of them pick her up at least once.
Yeah, individually.
Try to.
Try to. Yeah, I didn't.
I think they're gonna try to one up each other with Nia Jax. Like, oh, I can pick her up. Oh no, I can pick her up too. Like, oh no, I can pick her up as well. And this everybody's just gonna pick up Nia Jax.
I figured they were gonna do the whole pyramid suplex power bomb.
Yeah.
100%.
It's one or the other. It's either going to be utterly ridiculous, or they're gonna have one massive spot with her, and she's gonna be one massive spot that's gonna put her out of the match. You know,
and that's another one where you can put your sports specs on. Who's going to be the one who delivers the power bomb in that spot? Is it Rhea on the bottom, power bombing Nia Jax, who's superplexing 2 of the other ones, or is it Nia Jax on the bottom delivering the power bomb to somebody, or is it Raquel Rodriguez delivering the power bomb? Because it's going to be one of those 3 on the bottom delivering the power bomb, and my guess is I would think Nia Jax would be in the super. Is going to be in this, taking it, and she's going to be in the superplex position, probably with two other superstars. She's going to deliver like a double. Yep.
Doyle, tell me why. Off air, you told me that you were super confident that Nia Jax was going to win this match.
I think they would need to put an extension on the belt for her, like they did for Andre the Giant when he. Anyway, yeah, I mean, fucking Rhea is incredible. She's probably my favorite female performer currently, and that's saying a lot because I fucking love Bianca, and I also love my Irish last kicker. But that being said, this title run of hers has been pretty not so great. And it's not really her fault. It's more of a function of, lack of credible opponents, not named Becky Lynch. Or she's so much better than everybody else on the Raw roster, except Becky Lynch, I should say. And that's, I think, why we're kind of getting this dumpster fire match here, because none of these challengers by themselves are really credible opponents for Rhea at this point. I mean, she's beaten Raquel how many times now? Nia's terrible. She's just big. She's always a rookie. And Shayna really hasn't done anything to make me think that she would have a fucking chance in hell against Rhea Ripley. Yeah, I mean, somebody, I think Wayne mentioned it's basically Raquel and three heels, and Rhea, who is a heel, but she's a leader of a heel faction. She's close, very closely aligned with the heeliest heel that ever healed in Dom. Yet she gets a ton of cheers. She's kind of one of the only performers right now that is kind of like a tweener. In this day and age, for the most part, faces are getting cheered and heels are getting booed. We're kind of the audience. We as an audience are more or less following the rules like we're supposed to be. Whereas 20 years ago, I think or even more recently than that, you booed the shit out of Cena. You know what I mean? Or you cheered the heels and you were booing the faces. But nowadays, I think Cena's even getting mostly positive response these days. So it's strange that she's one of the only people that can kind of straddle that line. That dynamic will be something I'll have my eye on. They keep trying to make something out of Raquel, so I expect her to be, and her struggle, to be kind of a focal point of the match. But at the end of the day, Rhea is going to retain. I think she's going to hold the title till Becky beats her at WrestleMania 40. I think Rhea's going to win, and I think she's going to keep winning. And we are 100% getting a Tower of Doom spot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. God. How long can they keep Rhea and Becky Lynch apart?
Like I said, I think that right
we know
now,
they're shooting for probably WrestleMania match, but how long can they really drag this shit out?
They can. I mean, like right now, she's off that title run from NXT. It's perfect time to just write her off of TV. She doesn't need a reason to she's injured. Oh, she's doing a movie. She just wants to take some fucking time off. I mean,
just take it to the crib like Bianca did.
Yeah,
even though they wrote Bianca off.
Right. Bianca was only gone for 3 months, a short amount of time. It went by so quickly. So we're gonna talk about it. Well, no, we kind of discussed it before, but if Drew would pick up the title, that would be a perfect opportunity for Seth as well to take some time off. But anyway, let's move on here. What's the next match? Ew. Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest. Is Cody Rhodes going into this match uninjured? Because he seems to be always going into a match injured. Almost all the time, it seems like. Like, I'm pretty sure I see Damian Priest actually winning this match, and let me tell you why. Just because I always feel like on a card like this, we always get a match that we're very disappointed with that went somewhere we did not think it was going to go. Takes a left turn. I think this is the match. It looks very promising. Cody Rhodes, predictable, I would say. I feel like it's a very easy pick. But I would say out of nowhere, I would say Damian Priest picking up this win. And maybe not clean. I say maybe because he needs a credible, clean win over somebody like Cody Rhodes. But I think there's going to be a little bit of interference here by somebody. One of the many other, Judgment Day members. I mean, they're all over this card to begin with. Helping Damian Priest slither away with a win here. Cody Rhodes can take an L from Damian Priest. Damian Priest will get some more credibility, on his own. I'm not speaking of him and Finn with the tag titles. Honestly, we don't even really need this fucking match. We should be having a tag match on here. To be honest, but instead,
they blew that wad too many times already.
Yeah, they blew that wad way too many times. Lost the titles, got the titles. That was fucking weird. That happened in between podcast episodes. Mm-hmm. Just winning and losing the tag titles. The North American title one was kind of weird to begin with, and then they did it with the tag titles. And then they're like, now we're going to do it to Rhea. No, you're fucking not. But, Dre, what do you think? You think I'm crazy? Do you think Damian Priest wouldn't coming out of this with a W? I
don't think you're crazy about it.
Yeah,
I think Damian Priest should win this match, and I think he should win it probably due to some sort of outside interference, like Finn popping up, interfering, which is going to lead to a Jay run-in, and ultimately Damian Priest winning. I think that's how it should go. My fear is that they won't do that because Cody Rhodes is kind of in that position now where he doesn't lose, where you have to be of a certain status in order to get a win over him. Kind of like where Brock Lesnar didn't lose to anybody unless you were at a certain level. Cody Rhodes has almost kind of inherited that spot now on the roster as the top babyface, where he ain't losing to nobody unless you're at a certain level. And my fear is that Damian Priest hasn't been elevated to that level yet, to where where they're willing to book him to beat Cody Rhodes in a match. Even though, like I said, he should, for all intents and purposes, he should win this match. A win like this would benefit him more than Cody just getting another win over somebody. But yeah, I'll be going into this match rooting for Damian Priest to win. I'll say that, but I would not be surprised if we get the whole Finn Balor run in, maybe even JD run in, maybe even Dom 2 run in, Jay show up, maybe Sami Zayn gets another run in, and it's just a whole clusterfuck of booking, which leads to Cody Rhodes winning. I would not be surprised if that happens. But it should be Damian Priest who wins this match.
Doyle, do you agree? Are you smack in the middle?
I feel like we've been watching this match for months. or some variation thereof.
Right.
This feels like a Raw match. Would it have killed them to give this some kind of stakes? Put the fucking briefcase on the line. You know what I mean? Or at least put them in a cage or something. Something. Instead of they just give us this, it feels like a filler match. That belongs on Raw. Yeah, they're just like treading water with Cody until they can heat him back up to go take his next shot at Roman. You know, they have no idea what to do with him in the meantime. It feels like, yeah. I mean, I guess Cody's gonna win, but I don't. I mean, why? Who cares? You know, there's no reason to give a shit. What difference does it make who wins? That doesn't make any difference.
Right.
You know, if you're gonna have Priest beat Cody, why not make it for the fucking briefcase? You know, establish him as a You know, make his if he beats Cody, make it mean something. You know, but I guess the fact that they're not doing that means Cody's gonna win, and they don't want to give him the briefcase. So I'm gonna pick Cody Rhodes.
Right.
Yeah, that's a valid point. Like, if they had put some stakes on this match,
yeah,
and there would have been a much stronger reason for Damian Priest to win, so that, and while also protecting Cody in the sense that it would build up Damian Priest as a guy who can win when there's something on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know, he can when the stakes matter, he can step up and perform. And Cody falling short of that doesn't hurt him at all because he's still Cody motherfucking Rhodes. He's still the top babyface.
Right.
So, like, it's one of those matches where kind of Damian Priest has everything to lose. Cody Rhodes has nothing to lose in this match. Well, I won't say Damian Priest has everything to lose, but he has something to lose, whereas Cody Rhodes has nothing to lose in this match. Where at least if they had put some...
even if they just put it in a cage or something, you know, to keep the other Judgment Day people out, or it would make this more interesting. Something,
yeah.
It just feels like a here's a match.
You think they would, Doyle? But nah.
What, LA Knight this match? Fuck no.
Yeah.
No, I don't see that happening because LA Knight really doesn't have, his beef isn't really with Judgment Day at the moment. He's focused more on Bloodline, if anything,
I was
right
just
now.
playing the bumper, but yeah.
Yeah, but if they, like I said, if they could have, I kind of lost my train of thought, but yeah, if they could have put this in a cage, like you said with Cody, that would. Yep, they totally lost that thought. I was trying to search
just something to differentiate.
Put something on the stakes, yes. Just a regular singles match, because these are all just regular singles matches, except for the women's Fatal 5. They're very bland. Like I said, it seemed like it was very specific matches that were picked for only specific transactions of either titles or win-losses. It's so... Yeah. That's how these Saudi pay-per-views always are, though. It's like I always feel like it's like a multiverse, like something that happens over in Saudi. It doesn't count when it comes back over here, right? Like sometimes that's how we like to think about it.
Now, what could make this match mean something is if it wasn't in the midst of Cody and his boys versus the whole Judgment Day. If they could somehow focus this strictly and make it a Cody Damian Priest feud, even though Damian is within Bloodline and Cody obviously top babyface, if they could somehow make this be like maybe quote unquote match one in a ongoing lingering Cody Damian Priest feud, with then you could get something out of this. Even if Cody won and then Damian wins a follow-up match at some point on a main event of Raw or something like that. If they could somehow turn this baby faces versus feud, versus heels faction feud thing, and somehow find a way to focus it on those two, or at least let these two have their own internal focused feud with each other within the context of the greater babyface versus heel faction feud, then you could develop something. Then you could have something that builds up Damian Priest and gives Cody Rhodes something relatively substantial to do while buying time till he again recenters his focus on Roman Reigns in the world and the WWE title. But I feel like they're not doing that right now. They're just kind of treading water until they build up to Survivor Series and whatever potential War Games match we get.
Yeah, that's true. Just prolong it until we get to War Games, which is so juicy coming up. I can't wait.
That's like 3 weeks. It's not really. It's not like
real quick.
Oh yeah. Coming out of this, they're going to be full speed ahead into fucking Survivor Series. And if anything, some of what happens on this show is probably just going to be, just setting up Survivor Series. Like, that's kind of one thing we really haven't kind of talked about much within the context of these matches is, are these kind of just like chapter ones or first acts into continuing storylines in the Survivor Series, or are these things going to be are things going to happen in this match that are serve as the catalyst towards, jumping in the fast lane towards Survivor Series?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see that happening especially with whatever happens in this Cody Damian match. Like, if any match on this card is really a setup for Survivor Series, it's probably this match, which is another reason why I think we're probably going to see a clusterfuck of interference.
Yeah, well, I totally expect a clusterfuck of interference for sure. All right, let's see what's the next match on the card here that we can discuss. Do you guys need to take a break at all? You guys good?
Mm-hmm. I'm good.
You guys got your piss bottles nearby? We're all good? All right. Like we discussed.
Yeah, but I'm drinking Mountain Dew. I hope I don't confuse them.
Yeah, don't confuse them. Remember that one time? That one episode you did? Oh, man, that was great.
Yikes.
All right. Let's roll into...
And his name is John Cena!
versus Solo Sikoa. I had to play that bumper. It was a must every time we mentioned John Cena. The writers are on strike right now, so there isn't a lot going on. So John Cena actually has some free time, and he's been making the best of it. It would be nice, Rock, if we could see some other wrestlers, who should be available, who aren't busy. But yeah, it's good to see John Cena back. As discussed over a bunch of promos the past couple of weeks, John Cena, and we discussed it several times, actually, every time John Cena has a match, we discuss it, how his win-loss record has been pretty bad over the past, 2,000-something days. He hasn't won a match. It's a ridiculous amount. He's been putting over a bunch of talent. Is this where he finally gets a W? It's been a while. Is this where he gets his momentum? For something bigger? Can Solo take an L from John Cena? If not, this is a big win for Solo. But where's John Cena go from here after taking another loss? I don't foresee John Cena leaving. I see him sticking around at least till Survivor Series, or hell, who knows? At this point, with the strike, he might just he could, stay all the way up to the Rumble if he wanted to, and then that would be it. But I don't know. This could go either way. I'm kind of split right down the middle here. Because John Cena needs the win, but this would be a huge win for Solo. No title involved here. Just a match with the GOAT. That's what they're calling him. They're hardcore on that. The GOAT. Dre. I'm kind of split down the middle here. I can't really decide because I could go either way. Persuade me here. Who do you think?
If this were just John Cena versus Solo Sikoa and had it just been built up as him beefing with bloodline or what have you, then I could see it going either way. But the very fact that they've made an emphasis or put an emphasis on John Cena's losing streak tells me 100% he's winning this match. The fact that he went through, he made a whole point of, or he took what people have been bringing up on social media and made that a point of a promo, and that it's been a point of discussion in the last few weeks, and that seems to be more of the storyline than anything, is the fact that he's on this losing streak and he now has a solo match with Solo, but a one-on-one match with Solo tells me he's going to win, because Solo has already taken L's, so him losing another match, especially to someone the likes of John Cena, doesn't hurt Solo nothing. It doesn't make him look weak at all. And John Cena has everything to gain by breaking this streak, and it gives you that feel-good celebratory moment of him winning and celebrating in the ring afterwards and all that stuff before he potentially returns to Hollywood. Because, yeah, just as much as he could stick around past this, past Crown Jewel, going into Survivor Series and maybe beyond, he could also just as quickly, at the drop of a dime, have to go right back if the strike gets resolved. And WWE, it's been reported that WWE has an out for him for whenever it does get resolved. They've got an out that they can, basically pull that trigger when needed. So I think they're going to keep him on top as a babyface, and they're not going to delve further into I've been losing and my losing streak has continued, because if he loses this, then what? Then what's the storyline moving forward for him? Obviously, you'd have to kind of go further with that. Like, you can't have him take this loss and then, oh well, he's gone, because then he comes back and he's not coming back necessarily as, hey, legend, quote, GOAT, unquote, John Cena. He's coming back as, hey, he's the loser. That, I think if he goes out on an L and returns to Hollywood, I think that's the one thing that could actually kind of hurt him a little bit. But him winning breaks the streak, celebratory, feel good moment. Bye, John Cena. Thanks for the quick run. Then he goes out, as the same John Cena we all know and love. So I'm in the mindset that, yeah, it's almost a certainty that he's going to win this match. I'd be genuinely surprised if Solo Sikoa picked up the win in this match.
Doyle, how do you feel? Do you feel the same?
Pretty much. I think I said last episode or an episode or two ago that if Cena doesn't get a win or two here, beating him is going to be meaningless. And when I said that, I didn't realize he hadn't won a singles match since what was it, 2018 or something? 5 years.
That's ridiculous.
But this is another match that doesn't feel like a pay-per-view match. It feels like a SmackDown match. So I guess I'm not going to pick against my fellow masshole, John Cena. But even if he doesn't win, if he doesn't turn the math around or whatever phrase he was using, at the end of the day, he's still John Cena. He could still believably beat basically anybody, and we really wouldn't bat an eyelash. So, I mean, it's just, there's no stakes here. It doesn't really matter. Now, I should say I wrote in my notes, no stakes. But while you guys were talking, I jotted something down, and I think I maybe cracked the code a little bit here. I was thinking about possible War Games lineups. And I got JD, Priest, Finn, Jimmy, and Solo versus Sammy, Cody, KO, Jay, and Cena. Well, JD and Sammy have a match. Cody and Priest have a match. Cena and Solo have a match. So I forget who it was said maybe this is all leading to something. May actually have been right.
Yeah.
Okay, run that lineup again by me.
Yeah.
Sammy, Cena, Cody.
Sammy, Cody, KO, Jay, Cena.
Oh, okay, so KO and Jay are the other two.
Right. But, I mean, 3 of the 5 have one-on-one matches against each other.
Mm-hmm. And then it'd be against... you said, well, Finn, JD, Damian...
JD and Sammy, Priest and Cody.
No, I'm talking about on the heel side. You said JD, Damian...
Priest, Finn, Jimmy, and Solo.
Okay. So no Dom?
Or maybe Dom instead of JD. I don't know. I was trying to make it fit my
Maybe this is where they make JD an official member, so they have another.
No. I mean, no. It's totally feasible. I could see if Dom is involved in something else.
Dom would be a better choice. I think
maybe not, because JD's the better performer in the ring. So if you need somebody in that match who can pull off crazy spots, I think JD McDonough would be more qualified for that. And then Dom's strong enough that he can stand on his own in some other match or some other feud, or depending on what NXT has going on that weekend.
Seconds Rhea or whatever.
Right. Yeah, or whatever NXT has going on that weekend, if they have something going on the same weekend as Survivor Series. Because I think that's... Maybe I'm mistaken with that, but it seems like with at least the big 4 pay-per-views that they
usually have a show, right?
Yeah, they try to line something up with NXT around that same time as well, because they know that it's one of the big 4 and it's got more eyes on the product during that time. So he could be preoccupied on NXT doing his thing at that moment. So I think JD, Finn, and Priest representing Judgment Day in that actually would make more sense, along with Jimmy and Solo, because we haven't gotten to it yet, but rumor is that Roman might not be working Survivor Series.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise.
Right. Kind of crazy to think about, but...
Yeah, right?
Good talk.
Well, I was going to touch base more on that when we get to the main event. But... Well, at least, the pop is going to be fucking huge for John Cena. Okay. So, Bianca Belair has been gone for a couple months. When she lost her title, she had a few rematches and couldn't beat Io Sky, right? Went away for a while, has come back, now has a title shot again. Do you think this is, third time's the charm here, where she gets it back, and we proceed on with Bianca Belair as champion again, leading up to something bigger for her, and or does Io Sky, finally, does she still have her number and puts Bianca Belair away again, and just solidifies that she is the better wrestler out of the two, and just end this feud once and for all? Jerry, it sounds like you want to say something.
I'm not sure if that storyline quite lines up, because don't forget, Io faced Bianca at Backlash in Puerto Rico, and beat her clean.
Oh yes.
So she got it. She has a win on Io.
Yeah,
and then Io only won because she cashed in the Money in the Bank after the triple threat match that Bianca had with Charlotte and Asuka.
Yep.
Has Bianca gotten a rematch yet? Because since that happened, she wanted to get her lick back, but she didn't because some little privileged bitch got in the fucking way. But I ain't gonna go there. But Charlotte kind of jumped in front of her, and Bianca never really got her. She hasn't gotten her one-on-one with Io since losing the title. This is actually her first actual one-on-one.
Okay, so but either way, this is the rubber match per se.
You can say this is kind of, sort of.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. So, you know, I feel like this is maybe the last time we're going to see these two duke it out, and you know, they were able to drag this out this long, even with her gone, you know, making it interesting when she returned. You know, she could easily cost the title, you know, from Bayley, but I don't know if they're still looking. I mean, they've been poking at it for a long time. If they're breaking up, you know, that group, but there's always hints to it. But I don't know. I see Io winning it and continuing on this reign she has. I think she's going to be the one to win this feud, so we can take her a little bit more serious, you know, moving forward here. And I don't know. I feel like there's going to be some new meat for Bianca Belair to have to deal with. Dre, who do you think is going to come out on top of this match?
I do think Io Sky is going to win. I just fear that, like all the other wins or title defenses she's had, it's not going to do for her what it should be doing because of the constant interference from Bayley and Dakota Kai. Maybe my thinking is off, but I still always feel like a champion needs clean wins to establish themselves. As long as you win and there's always some sort of asterisk or some sort of circumstance surrounding your win, it doesn't really help you that much unless you've already established yourself as that kind of conniving type of heel who finds, you know, devious ways to pull out a win. But even then, you got to do it yourself. That hasn't been the case with Io. She's always had assistance in securing her wins, and that's not helping establish her as her own credible champion. It's just her just holding on to the title, even though she's having great fucking matches. She had a great match with Charlotte, but Bayley had to get involved to help her win. She had a great match with fucking Asuka, but Bayley had to get involved to help her win, and that's hurting her, and it's almost countering these great matches that she's having. And I believe she's going to have another great match with Bianca. And once again, Bayley and Dakota are going to get involved, especially Bayley. And that's going to lead to her holding on to the title. And it's not going to help her as much as it should be helping her.
I feel like Io often will tell them not to help, though, right?
Yeah, Io's always telling them not to interfere. Like, don't interfere. Stay out of it. I got it. But then they interfere anyway.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the problem. Like, at what point, if that's going to be the continuing running theme, at what point does Io Sky get sick of it?
Well, sure. Right.
At what point does Io Sky finally get sick of it and just say, yo, get the fuck out of here. I got this. Mm-hmm. Like, if she could do that, like, if that happened in this match where Bayley and Dakota tried to show up and Io finally took a stand and said, no, get out, stay the fuck out of this, I got this. And then she goes on to beat Bianca clean, that would be phenomenal for her. And that would really establish her as her own standalone champion. And probably elevate her to being a bit higher in stature within Damage Control than Bayley. And it almost, in some, excuse me, in some subliminal way, if you kind of psychoanalyze it, you could almost argue that Bayley's doing this on purpose in order to keep Io Sky so much suppressed beneath her, even though Io is the champion. She's like, yeah, you're the champion, but you're only holding on to that title because of me. Mm-hmm. And it's still helping Bayley still maintain her status as the alpha within the faction, even though Io theoretically should be the alpha because she's the women's champion.
Doyle, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, actually, I kind of fantasy booked this one as well, and mine was kind of similar to that. But I think this could be a match of the night candidate.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fuck yeah!
But it's also the one I have the most trouble predicting. as much as I love Bianca, I don't necessarily want to see her rocketed right back into being champion. You know, I think a chase story with her is much better. I'd like to see her do some things away from a couple programs away from the title, actually, before she comes back into the title picture, you know, for WrestleMania season or whatever. You know, but EO and Damage Control has the numbers, so I think she'll retain here. You know, but like I said, I'm not convinced. I could see a situation where this is where Bayley's, you know, boobery ends up costing the title. But I could see a scenario. I could see a double switch here. We've been calling for the the Bianca heel turn forever. If this is where EO finally has enough of Bayley's shit and, you know, and shows that she could turn herself face, and if Bianca loses and throws a bitch fit over it, maybe she can be heel, and maybe you can pull off the double turn. You know, extremely hard to do. And I don't know. Like, I think you could maybe pull that off in a Boston or a New York or a Philly or a Chicago, but I don't know that the Saudi audience is going to be quite, I don't want to say sophisticated, but nuanced enough to pull off a double turn. You know, but so I'm going to pick EO. Yeah, I think we're all picking EO. I'm not. That's probably my least confident of any prediction I made.
Monkey wrench wild card question.
Okay, go for it.
Could we possibly see if Bayley and Dakota interfere on Io Sky's behalf? Could WWE throw somebody in to come to the aid of Bianca in the form of Jade Cargill?
Oh, I could absolutely see that.
It could, but like, I know they've been like showcasing her around, you know, like promoting that she is a big deal. I guess trying to also get like the feel of the crowd, you know, like how they kind of react to her pop, you know, like having her stacked up against, you know, being side by side like with Charlotte. I mean, we saw that they had them both on super high heels so they could stand next to Triple H and tower over that man, even though Triple H is 6'4". So
he squatted.
Yeah, he was squatting. He did whatever he could to make them look tall as shit. And then, you know, bringing her around Becky Lynch, and a lot of the talk of the fantasy booking with her and Bianca Belair. I mean, like, yeah, that'd totally be awesome, right? But like, do we put her right to the top, like, or do we do the slow burn? I mean, she's young. So like,
she ain't showing up to wrestle freaking Nikki Cross.
No, she ain't. But like, I can see her just, you know, if she's going to NXT, you know, not to the main roster, she's gonna dominate the NXT roster. But like, I don't know. I mean, it's 50-50 whether they put her directly on the main roster. That'd be the perfect candidate to whether team with or, you know, be against. But you know, if like, there's also, I want to throw this out there. That's, you know, you want to talk about wild cards. You know, what if like Bianca just cannot regain this women's title and it just drives her nuts? You know, to the point where like she joins a certain heel stable that's upcoming. You know, with two face wrestlers that have been turned heel with new music and new gear. You know, I could see her journeying where the Street Profits are. You know, if we ever see Bianca go heel, we got to always. That's another wild card. You know, I didn't even factor that in.
That could happen, but that's, to me, more of a slow burn type of thing where she would have to fail a couple of times to win the title before I could see her reaching that level of frustration. Because don't forget, she is technically a 2-time WWE Women's or Raw Women's Champion, however you want to call it. Because she did technically win at SummerSlam before Io cashed in. So her attempts at getting the title back have been successful. So I couldn't see it happening off of just this one loss.
Right.
Like, she would have to lose here and then probably lose again at like Survivor Series. And then maybe I could see her transitioning into joining Lashley's faction. Maybe. But like I said, but for the record, I don't think the Jade Cargill thing's actually going to happen. I was just kind of throwing it out there.
No, I like that wild card idea. But
I'm just throwing it out there because she has been making these appearances on television and on the pay-per-views. At some point, she's got to do more than just appear and just show up and, stare down with somebody or take a seat in a chair or something. At some point, we're going to have to actually see some physicality from her. Yeah. And if there was something a place that could happen, I could see it being either this PLE or Survivor Series where we actually see the first bit of physicality from her. Doesn't mean that she is immediately become an active wrestler on whatever roster,
right? But
just something to again further whet the appetite of seeing her finally compete. Like she just shows up and just puts a boot in somebody's face and maybe hits her finisher on somebody, and then that's all we get. Then everybody. Then from there, just whoever she did to is now just talking shit while she's just she's still away and just like nah. I'll deal with you when I'm ready to deal with you. I just want to give you a sample of of this ass whooping that's coming your way when I finally decide to show up. I can see them doing that as like a tease thing.
Right. Doyle, what do you think? You want to put in anything here?
Yeah, I hadn't even thought that would be a great place to debut Jade Cargill. International event. More kind of eyeballs than usual, maybe. That'd be a great idea. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but it's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Hold on. Let me wait.
Too late.
No. Of course I'm gonna do it. I was leaning back, relaxed in the chair. And I was like so far away from the soundboard. God damn it! Yeah, you beat me to it, son of a bitch. So. We got one more match. You know what though? Like in between this match here, I want to talk about returns. Like this is a big show for them. Like if you guys could, think of some returns. Who are you thinking? I had one in mind, and that was Randy Orton. We haven't seen Randy Orton in a while. Rumors have been going around that he was at the Performance Center, and I see a lot of rumors about him coming back. What do you guys think about Orton?
I think they're keeping him on standby in the event that John Cena gets called back to Hollywood.
Yeah.
If the writers strike, if the Screen Actors Guild strike, like say they're booking with the idea of John Cena participating in the War Games match, yes, and then suddenly he has to leave because the strike is ended and he has to go back to Hollywood. Boom. Oh, he's out. They write him off television. Damn, we got to struggle to find somebody else. And I hear voices in my head. And fucking Randy Orton. I think that's where they're at with him right now. Right now he's on standby as the substitute for John Cena in a storyline. Should he get called back, and should it not happen and they're able to play Cena's whatever role he's in now out all the way to the end that they have laid out, which I would assume would be through War Games at least, then they'll bring Randy Orton back maybe night after Survivor Series surprise return or something like that, or they may hold off on it to the Rumble if they manage to be able to buy enough time.
Doyle?
Yeah, I mean, he would certainly be. I mean, they're saying any day now with him, but I feel like they've been saying that for months. So, who the fuck knows what's true and what isn't?
Yeah.
What I had been hearing was Survivor Series. So for Mr. Orton, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Hell, theoretically, they may write John Cena out of Survivor Series, even if this SAG strike is still ongoing. That may be the plan the whole time, is that tease like Cena's going to be in it just to write him out of it and insert Randy Orton. That may be the working plan as it is now.
Sure, could be.
Completely independent of the strike.
Could very well be.
My cat is trying to break into the office. I saw the door handle like jiggling. You know, I'm not scared though because Halloween is over. If this was yesterday, oh my god, I would have been so scared. But it's November 1st, so I'm
you know why the cat wants to come in.
Dude,
Cat knows what we're about to talk about next.
Yeah, dude, he wants to.
The cat has come to acknowledge her tribal chief.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. Well, I asked him if he wanted to talk about the Roman Empire. You know. Yeah.
Put your paws up.
Yeah, main event. You know, Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman with his dark hair versus LA Knight. You know what though? This whole build up for this match, the promos that were cut for this match were fucking great. The back and forth between these two, you know, they both make a lot of good points. You know, Roman talking to him like, you know, this is your first title match, and he's taking him as a joke, pretty much. They kind of gave us the spoiler, I feel like, with this Roman Reigns title run about we're gonna get Roman and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, you know, for the title. We kind of got that spoiler a whole year in advance. So I mean, if you wanted to play it safe, you could you know, call it Roman for every match. But damn, I'll be damned if I didn't say that this one had me thinking that this could be in the realm of possibility of Roman Reigns losing his title and just ending what streak he has, you know, here. You know, let's say there's some sort of interference. Maybe we do get The Rock coming back, maybe doing a little, you know, distracting, little interference, getting involved somehow. You know, I you know, hear the rumors of The Rock and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but it doesn't have to be for the title. They could easily free up that title to somebody else who's hot right now. And you know, I see a lot of people on Twitter just you know, and other social media discussing how stale the tribal chief has been this year. You know, he's only had one title defense this year. Two.
Well, no. He's had more than that.
Since WrestleMania, he first Jay.
Yeah, since WrestleMania, he's only had one, and that was SummerSlam. But going into it, he had Kevin Owens at the Rumble,
yes.
Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber, then Cody at WrestleMania, then nothing until, as far as title defenses go, nothing until SummerSlam against Jay.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's rumors that he's not going to be wrestling again until, you know, the rest of the year. Like, you know, he's just done. Like, he's done for the year. Putting him away into the Rumble, I guess. That's just ridiculous. You know, that just Doyle, if he holds on to this title to WrestleMania, what is he going to beat anybody else?
I don't think so. I think he would have to
surpass WrestleMania?
Surpass WrestleMania to start looking at Hogan's. I think Hogan is like 1,400 days or something, and Roman's in the low 1,100s, I think. So yeah, he would need to be about another year from now.
Yeah.
I think I want to say Roman. I didn't write any of it down this week. I feel like Roman's 5th all time. I think it's Bruno. Bruno's 2nd title reign might be in sight. That might be only 1,300 days or something. Let me try to Google it real quick.
I think it's Bruno, then Bob Backlund, then Hogan, and then Roman.
And then I think Bruno's 2nd reign is 4th. I think. Let's see.
Yeah, because like if there's such a if he's not going to surpass anybody really between here and WrestleMania, if there's nobody else for him to surpass, then what's the harm of him losing it now? And then, I know this, and then the other, looking at the half empty, half full. It's like, well, he's come this far. He might as well just hold it till WrestleMania and then lose it then to Cody. But
okay, I got it. He's fourth. He's 4th right now at 11:59.
Yeah.
Bruno's 2nd one is 3rd at 12:37. So he's actually not that far from that. Hogan's first run is 14:74, and then Bruno's first run is 28:03.
Yeah, but hold on.
Don't think he's going to get that one.
But hold, that's skipping out on a Bob Backlund reign. Bob Backlund had 2135 days.
Oh,
do we talk about
Bruno.
that one?
Yeah, about to say, because for the list I'm looking at, Bruno's number 1, then Bob number 2, Hogan's at 3, Bruno's 2nd run is number 4, 1237, and then it would be Roman, and then after Roman was Pedro Morales.
The math is all there, guys. I mean,
yeah, you're right. That list was missing Backlund. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So so Roman is 4th currently. 5th currently.
Still like the in the modern day, the best right now.
But I mean that San Martino's 2nd run is within sight.
Sure. he would definitely pass that if he held on to WrestleMania, and I think that's probably not a bad position to slot him in at if you want to slot him in 4th all time. It would depend on how much they want him to
surpass Hogan.
Yeah. Do they want him to eclipse Hogan or not? That's probably going to determine everything.
Damn. It sucks because like LA Knight is so close, and if he takes that L, like we discussed earlier, like him going for the United States title wouldn't be that much of an L. Like it would be a good transition. Like he was like this close, and with said interference is the reason why he didn't get it, and he's able to possibly focus on the United States title and make that title interesting.
Wait, you think LA Knight is so close to what?
He's so close to the like he has so close to having the undisputed Universal title, because I mean he's yeah.
Is he though?
No, because he has the momentum. He has the crowd behind him. He's like one of the hottest superstars in the company right now. But like, it just sucks that he gets so close, and Roman's is just gonna be another notch in Roman's belt, and it's just like, I hope that from here where he gets knocked down, it's just not too far. Like when he falls down and he grabs that limb, I hope that limb is the United States title, and it keeps him elevated. Because some guys, after they lose to Roman, they just keep going down.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a contract signing? I got one more question. Have you ever had a championship match before? I didn't think so. So that means you got no clue what you're doing right now. But don't you worry. Your tribal chief, I'm going to go easy on you. We're going to make it real nice for your first time. Don't worry. We're going to go real gentle with you. All right? All right, sweetheart?
Thank you, gentlemen. That concludes my responsibilities this evening. I want to wish you both the very best of luck at Crown Jewel.
Hey, Roman. As far as where I'm looking, I'm the head of the table, so acknowledge me. You want to talk about my first contract signing. You want to talk about my first WWE Championship match. And you're right. Isn't that crazy? And you also say you're going to go gentle on me. My God, that's sweet of you. And I hope you do. Because if right now you think that you're going to underestimate this man because it's my first time around, my friend, you are already beat. But I'm going to put it to you like this. Is this my first time? Hell yeah, it is. So I'm sitting here, and I'm just thinking to myself, after only a single year, I'm sitting at the head of this table, about to take your title. And it climbs so fast, you don't even know what hit you. And by the time we get to Crown Jewel, you're going to be thinking to yourself, what the hell just happened? He just walked out with my WWE Championship. But see, you don't understand. Yeah, this is my first time, but I only need one time. Because while you failed over and over again, while you were busy doing suffer and succotash, I've been out here run one, telling everybody whose game this is. Not yet. Because there can be only one WWE champion. Yeah, there can only be one me. Yeah, and guess what? It's coming up real soon, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life. I can't stop this gravy train. I can't stop the undeniable Kavorka, and I can't stop being the man they call the megastar, with everybody saying,
also, I'm just going to pinch this in. Another guy I thought would be a good return, besides Randy Orton, would be AJ Styles. AJ Styles hasn't been on TV in a while. Another guy that I feel like that they haven't done a lot with recently, that they're just wasting contract with. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah, he ain't done nothing in a while, and that's because AJ ain't moving no needle.
Yeah, I know.
good
But he
as
was
he
another
is, great
guy.
as he is.
Yeah, he was another guy I thought of who hasn't been around in a while that's still in the roster. But yeah, I mean, it seems like you guys kind of have different opinions on this. I want to hear it. Dre, what's your opinion on this LA Knight Roman Reigns match? Like a guy who's, like Roman said, hasn't had a world heavyweight title match before. I mean, a WWE title match before.
Yeah, so I look at this LA Knight Roman Reigns thing, and I think to myself, I've seen this before. And I have to go way back into the archives of my wrestling fandom to think of a moment that this reminds me of. Not 100% apples to apples, but very much similar. And for this, we got to slide all the way back to the 80s, where there was in a wrestling company, there was a guy who was the dominant champion, and he was challenged by the hottest babyface in the company at the moment, who was the up-and-comer, and had all the fans behind him, had all the momentum behind him, and he got his moment in his first ever title shot, and it was for all the marbles. It was for the big one. It was, in that time, it was a 60-minute Iron Man match, and that babyface came up short. But even in losing, he solidified himself as a legitimate title contender, and it pretty much cemented him already, even more so than he already was, as one of the top baby faces in that company. And that moment was at the very first ever Clash of the Champions when Sting challenged Ric Flair for the World Heavyweight title. That is what this moment kind of reminds me of. Granted, LA Knight is not the young up-and-comer, but within the storyline standpoint,
Yeah,
he is that new hotness. He is that new top babyface that all the fans are behind and loving. And Roman Reigns ain't much older than, LA Knight in terms of real world years, if he ain't arguably younger. I don't know what their ages are, but
right.
they're not that far off in age. But in the storyline standpoint, Roman Reigns is very much the established champion.
Oh yeah,
The very much, in a sense, the veteran in this storyline. So here comes the young lion challenging the old vet, seemingly having all the momentum behind him, all the fans behind him, and he's going to get put in his place, like our tribal chief said he was going to do. And that's what's going to happen. But LA Knight will have a damn good showing. He'll look great at it. Roman will make him look like a legitimate contender, but he's going to come up short. And then after this, he will still have the backing of the fans, and he'll set his sights a little bit lower, like he should, because your arm's too short to box with God. So he gonna move on to the U.S. title situation.
Hold on, I'm gonna cut you off right there. All the past couple weeks, all I've been hearing is these CM Punk references in people's promos, and I see what you fucking just did right there. This guy.
Yeah. Right. CM Punk stole that from somebody else. That ain't a CM Punk original.
Yeah, but that's who I thought of.
Nope, that was a rap. That was a bar in a rap song. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but that's where CM Punk got that from. But yeah, that's where I'm seeing this at. And like I said, the whole time I've been watching this, it's just took me back to Sting challenging Ric Flair back in the day at the first Clash of the Champions, and I see the parallels in this feud that's happening right now. So I think it's going to play out just like that.
Doyle, what are you thinking of our opinions? Where you stand?
Look, I like LA Knight as much as the next guy. Well, maybe not as much as Wayne, but I like him. And I want him to continue to be pushed. But after all this time and effort and build up, to this Roman Reigns title reign and storyline, for it to end so abruptly at this pay-per-view to this guy, it's not going to happen. Yeah, I think, Roman's going to toy with him at first, beat him down a little bit. LA Knight's going to make the comeback. He'll be about to win until Jimmy interferes and costs him the match. And, we can hope for something a little more exciting than that, but I think that's pretty much what we're looking at here. The real story, I think, or question to be answered, is LA Knight ready for prime time? Right? Like, can he hang in the ring, on a relatively big stage with Roman Reigns or in this case, but, more abstractly with a Seth, with a Finn, with an AJ, So this match, in my estimation, is kind of more about what LA Knight can and can't do rather than what the outcome is going to be, almost like an audition, if you will. Because I think it's a foregone conclusion that Roman Reigns is going to win. Roman Reigns is minus 3,000, by the way, if you want to put a little money on him. It will be interesting, I think, to see if LA Knight's overness translates to these foreign markets coming up. Like, are they going to be as into him as we are? Or the American audience is? I think that'll be an interesting question to see answered as we go along here. But yeah, I mean, Roman's going to win, and I think that's silly to suggest otherwise.
Oh yeah, it's again we all know where this is going. Roman's not dropping the title anytime before probably WrestleMania. Yeah. Now, granted, if somehow Hunter got a rabbit hair up his ass and decided to shock the world and put this title on LA Knight, oh yeah, they would steal all of the headlines. That shit would probably be ESPN, Fox Sports, everybody would. That shit would be on the cover of every magazine, sports, column like a mug. But they're not. It still will
be in 6 months when Cody does it at WrestleMania.
Sure. Right. And it will be also, when Cody does it at WrestleMania, and it'll
I just can't keep building this and building this and building this and building this for this to be the outcome.
Exactly.
Like, no offense to LA Knight.
Exactly. You're 100% right on that. Like, they ain't done all this to fucking have LA Knight come out of nowhere and be the one to steal it.
If he had the title for 9 months, okay, maybe, sure, maybe we never, but. In the grand scheme of things, I think something like that would be fucking awesome. Some, just out of fucking nowhere kind of thing, or a title change of some kind. I feel like so much of the suspense is ruined. Because we know Drew's contract is coming up, or we know, they're having a thing in Germany, so Gunther's probably, or whatever, the element of surprise is so, I mean, it's not the end all be all, I don't think it's as important as other things, knowing where you're going, the getting there is half the fun sometimes. But like every now and then they need to be like I think that's maybe what they were trying to do with the tag belts a couple weeks ago, but like just a like, holy fuck kind of moment,
Yeah.
Don't do it too often, but every now and then. But this ain't the time to do it. But,
exactly. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing it in some other time somewhere along the line,
Yeah. I agree with you 100%. Every now and then you got to hit the fans with that proverbial any given Sunday moment,
right?
Which, like you said, they did with the tag titles because nobody saw that shit coming. But yeah, it ain't LA Knight. As much as it would steal all the headlines and shock the world, it'll also kind of do the same thing when it happens at WrestleMania, with the added benefit of it being WrestleMania, so everybody's paying attention to it.
Yeah.
And down goes Roman. Yeah, so it would still happen then, but unless they really got a even bigger hair up their ass and had thought about this in advance and made the Cody Damian match for the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then Cody won it, and then LA Knight shocks the world and beats fucking Roman Reigns for the title, and then Cody Rage goes in a fucking rage. Cody Rage, spoiled myself. Cody Rhodes has a fucking rage out moment, comes out there, cashes it in, beats the living dog shit out of fucking LA Knight, takes the title, and now we've got heel Cody. But, they don't think on that level like I do. But
that's some deep fucking thinking, dude. Holy shit. Oh, man. Well, with that multiverse theory,
that'd be funny as shit. Just Cody just gets pissed as shit, comes out there with the briefcase like, oh, hell no. And just fucking beats the living dog shit out of fucking Cody, out of LA Knight with the briefcase. And then just pins him. So
it could be even worse. LA Knight could win it, and then Damian Priest crashes in on LA Knight.
Yeah, but that's not as funny as Cody having a whole temper tantrum and beating the living fuck out of LA Knight with the briefcase. And then taking the title and walking off like, give me my goddamn belt, bitch.
Yeah, you're right. It wouldn't be funny.
How dare you finish my story for me?
It wouldn't be funny at all. God damn, that'd be terrible.
So I'd laugh my fucking ass off if he did that shit.
Yeah.
I'd have tears running down my face. I'd be laughing so hard.
So
just watching Cody just wail on fucking LA Knight with that briefcase. Just throwing a whole fucking fit.
Oh God, he's turning heel.
Cody, what are you doing? Stop it!
Oh my God! Oh God!
Beat him so bad the fucking handle breaks off of that shit. He just picks it up with two hands and just keeps beating him.
Oh man. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to chit chat about with this pay-per-view before we sign off here?
I feel like somewhere in this show, because we got 8 matches.
Yes.
8 matches. 3 hours, so 180 minutes. I guess that's enough to fill out the show without any padding from some random segment or something like that. Because I was wondering, are they going to try to fill this in with some random segment? Are we going to get a surprise Grayson Waller effect or Miz TV moment or some bullshit like that? But nah, I don't think we'll get that much because I think 8 matches. I think you can easily fill out 3 hours with 8 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd say no, not 8, 7 matches because I forgot one's pre-show, so 7 matches.
There's a difference between bringing the Miz TV set from Milwaukee to Chicago and bringing it to Saudi Arabia also. Especially given the Endeavor thing. Like, they're not trying to spend money on bullshit just to bring, a couple chairs over or whatever to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm about to say, I would think the Miz TV set would be more easy to transport than Grayson Waller. Cause then
it was the first thing that popped into my mind.
Yeah. Grayson Waller, you got to bring all those stupid fucking palm trees, and he's got a whole desk and shit.
Well, they have real palm trees there. Maybe they can use those.
You're right. These Miz are just like 2 directors' chairs and a fucking coffee table.
How about the Miz, by the way, with that? I guess he's a face again.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
I guess if we're transitioning into current events, then yeah. That's pretty tasty. I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I feel like I say it every episode, but man, he's so fucking good. He was such a piece of shit heel, and just flip a switch. You know what I mean? Like, he's really good. He's really fucking good. I don't know if he's going to be Gunther, but he's really fucking good.
Yeah. And I think he's finally at that point in his career where he's got that OG veteran status to where fans can start to genuinely appreciate what he's done in this business throughout his career. And a face turn for him would be the perfect vehicle to do that with, to where he can take all this talent he's been flexing his heels as a heel and put it towards being a babyface. You could really get something special out of that. Like, that could truly be special and elevate Miz to heights that he may have never even seen before. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that a babyface Miz could potentially get over just as much, or arguably more so, than LA Knight is currently right now. Mm-hmm. I think Miz is that good and has that kind of potential as a face.
Yeah, man. I mean, he can do it all. He's he's an asset to any company he works for. Obviously, he's only ever worked for the E, but I mean, shit, he's the kind of guy you love to have on your roster. He can do anything.
Awesome.
Yeah, I could see it because, man, when he started mouthing off to Gunther, I was like, "Talk your shit, Miz. Talk your shit." I'm here for it. I'm almost certain that he's going to win the 4-way number one contenders match next Monday, which is going to set up him and the Gunther feud. And like you said, I agree. He's probably going to come up short this time around. But what if he is the one to end Gunther's reign? Because, I mean, there ain't really much else for Gunther to do as champion other than just pad the numbers.
No.
Yeah, and we've talked about that spot has to be a jumping off point for somebody, right? But I don't see any young up and comer that's even close to being able to pull that off.
Right.
Yeah, it's just
for somebody like Miz, it could damn sure be a catapult for him as a babyface.
Oh yeah,
and launching him back eventually into the world title picture.
Yeah.
And say maybe not by WrestleMania next year, but maybe by next year's SummerSlam.
Yeah.
If say he fails let's say that he wins that and that sets up him versus Gunther at Survivor Series. He comes up short, has a great match, then he just, continues on as a babyface, builds up more momentum, earns a rematch at the Rumble, and then he wins at the Rumble. And then now he's the Intercontinental Champion going into WrestleMania, defends it against somebody, has another great match, has him another good run, maybe drops it around Money in the Bank time. Maybe Miz is Mr. Money in the Bank 2024.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Not Mr. Money in the Bank, Mr. Money in the Bank. Yeah. Yeah, it's corny. It's cheesy, but fuck it. I could see him running with it, and I could see Miz making it work. Mr. Money in the Bank, and then he cash in that motherfucker at like SummerSlam or something. I'm just saying, the roadmap is there.
You're not wrong. It's true. It wouldn't be hard to put. It wouldn't be that hard to make take Miz very, very serious again.
Yeah. By that point, Roman would hopefully no longer be WWE champion, so that title is free to be moved around. By that point, almost certainly, I imagine Seth would no longer be champion. It might be Gunther as world champion by that point, or maybe somebody else is world champion. And fucking Miz cashes in.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Doyle, do you have anything you want to plug for this episode?
Yes, I have a whole litany of things.
Oh my god. Let's hear it.
Oh. Besides the Discord, where you can find me, we have a Facebook page now. So if you're on the Facebook for the 5 more minutes or so that's relevant, you can find us on Facebook. There's not much up there yet, but we're working on it. I'm also going to be doing Carlos's podcast again. What's it called? Revisiting the Mania. Doing WrestleMania 13 on Sunday. I think he likes to do them live, and then the tape of that will be available, I guess, the next day. But yeah, we're doing that Sunday, so you can see me there too. I want to give a shout out to my fellow New Englanders up in Lewiston, Maine. I used to go to summer camp up in Lewiston when I was a kid, so I had kind of a connection to the community there, though. So stay strong up there, guys, and an R.I.P. to my aunt in quotation marks, because she wasn't really my aunt, Kathleen Cookie Vaughn, just one of the classiest ladies you could ever meet, super nice, true South Philly legend, and she will be missed.
All right, man.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah, absolutely. Damn. Dre, what do you want to plug?
I have nothing to plug at this moment.
Nothing?
Nothing at this moment. As always, you can find me in the Discord Mondays, Fridays, and now even occasionally on Tuesdays, sharing my thoughts on Raw, SmackDown, and I'm branching out even to NXT a little bit, sharing thoughts on that, tuning into their show. Halloween Havoc last night was wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. It was okay. It was okay. The Mello Hayes match.
I still haven't finished night one.
Yeah, I'll say Carmelo Hayes Dragunov Part 3 was. I have thoughts about that match. It wasn't a bad match by any means, but I still think their first encounter was the best out of that trilogy. But again, you can find those thoughts in the Discord, so you can always find me there. Other than that, like I said, nothing else really to plug at this moment.
Yeah, and you can find me just about anywhere as Semi-Dry Chicken. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Discord. Yeah, like I said, hopefully within the next episode our t-shirt design will be out and on Pro Wrestling Tees, and then I'll let everybody know about that. We can get some gear out there before WrestleMania, because there's a lot of us who listen who go to a lot of those wrestling events, and it'd be cool to have some PCW swag, some clothing for the peeps. So yeah, I guess with that said, we'll see you guys after this show, and hopefully it's not a shit show. So let me play us out here, fellas.
We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never ever end.
And his name is John Cena.
Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Oh yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Bye. Have a great time.